Hello you lovely lot, my name is Max, welcome back to my YouTube channel and another Nottingham Forest Scout Report. In today's video we are going to be detailing the 25-year-old Dutch forward Arnaut Danjuma, who is very heavily rumoured to be making a move back to England, and Nottingham Forest are currently one of the favourites to be signing the 25-year-old over the course of the January window. So in today's video we're going to be detailing his background as a player, taking a deep dive into his statistics and what makes him such an attractive prospect for so many clubs in England, and talking a bit about his tactics and how he would fit in to this Nottingham Forest system in the future, should he sign hypothetically. So if you do enjoy this kind of stuff, don't forget to drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. With that being said, let's start talking about Arnaut Danjuma. Arnaut Danjuma Groeneveld was born in Nigeria's largest city, Lagos, in 1997 and would move to Holland at a young age. His footballing education would predominantly come at the prestigious academy of PSV Eindhoven in the Netherlands. You don't really need to tell you about some of the high quality talents that came out of that academy, especially in the last 4 or 5 years, the likes of Memphis Depay, obviously Cody Gakpo, who's just joined Liverpool. It is a very fertile breeding ground for some of the best Dutch talent in the world at the moment. And Danjuma would spend close to a decade in the academy of PSV, leaving in 2016 to join fellow Dutch outfit Nijmegen. I think that's how you pronounce it, apologies if I've got that wrong. And he would spend 2 seasons there, making 40 appearances in the league and netting 12 goals in both the top and second division of Dutch football. A season with Belgian side Club Brugge would follow this, netting 6 goals in all competitions, including 1 in the Champions League and winning the Belgian Cup, before eventually joining Premier League side Bournemouth at the age of just 22 in 2019. However, Danjuma would really struggle in his adaptation to the English game. I think injuries were by and large the biggest reason as to why this happened, as Bournemouth would slide out of the Premier League with Danjuma making 14 goalless appearances in the Premier League. However, things would very quickly turn around in the Championship at Bournemouth. He had a really solid campaign, his first full one at Bournemouth, scoring 15 in 33 Championship games, being the top scorer for the club, the Players' Player of the Year, and finishing 6th in the Championship, reaching the playoffs. However, failure in the playoffs at the hands of Brentford would see the Dutchman depart for pastures new, joining Spanish club Villareal, who would pay £20 million for the Bournemouth forward. And he would net 10 goals in the league during his debut campaign, 16 in all competitions, including 6 in the Champions League for the Yellow Submarine, as they would reach the semi-finals of the competition, I believe for the first time being knocked out by Liverpool. And that brings us up to the modern day, so I think now is as good of a time as any to start discussing the stats and the numbers behind Danjuma and why he's become such an attractive prospect for clubs fighting relegation in England. Since making his debut for Villareal, no player has scored more goals for the Yellow Submarine in all competitions than Danjuma, 22 over the course of the last 18 months for Villareal. And he's done this by averaging around 3 shots per 90 over his 18 months in Spain, which would put him top of the Villareal squad, whilst averaging 0.5 expected goals per 90 minutes, good enough for second in the Villareal squad this season. However, this season in particular, he has quite vastly underperformed his XG, and that's been quite a common theme during his time in Spain. His 0.5 expected goals per 90 has only outputted 2 goals in the league this season, 2 goals in the Copa del Rey as well, and generally he's not having his best finishing season despite having quite good pedigree as a forward. That being said, he really doesn't see himself that involved in build-up play for Villareal. He's created just 1 chance per 90 this season. He's bottom of the squad for passes into the final third, in the bottom 4 or 5 players for passes into the penalty area, and is very much someone who wants to be running on his chances and stretching defences rather than dropping deep between the lines, picking up the ball and looking to distribute from deep positions. When he does get the ball though, he is a fantastic ball carrier, consistently someone who's ranked pretty well for dribbles in the squads he's played in, and a really good progressive carrier of the ball, one of the best progressive carriers in La Liga last season for forwards. I think only Vinicius completed more dribbles than him as well. Definitely somebody who's very dangerous with the ball, but sometimes he does need to rein things in a little bit. His dribble completion rate this season is just 28%. He can be a little bit undisciplined on the ball, sometimes making the wrong decision and taking or looking to take on his man, and that's maybe something maybe a bit more of a conservative coach should be looking to rein in, as he does have the qualities to make him a high quality, high level forward, but maybe not the discipline in certain aspects of his game like his finishing and his ball carrying to maybe make it quite there yet. In general though, he is somebody who is a massive goal threat, has always always had really good goal scoring numbers wherever he's played across Europe, and he can do the running. He's a good runner, he's got a lot of pace, his movement is fantastic, his ability to beat the back line, sort of getting behind, he's fantastic at doing all that kind of stuff. What he lacks is maybe that discipline at being involved in build-up play, can sometimes be a bit impatient at looking to force the ball forward, like we said, with that dribble success rate. But I think a top quality coach, Unai Emery, managed to do it at Villareal, and I think Steve Cooper could potentially do it at Nottingham Forest, could get the best out of him and find him a really natural fit in a system, and potentially that could be at Nottingham Forest. So with that being said, let's start talking a bit more about the tangible features of Danjuma's game and what we could expect if he were to join Nottingham Forest over the course of this winter window. Okay, so we're here on the tactics board and lined up for you. I've got Villareal in the yellow how they predominantly shaped up under Unai Emery, either in this 4-2-3-1 or in something closer to a 4-1-4-1. It was very much dependent on the personnel they had available to them, and of course on a game-by-game basis, as is the kind of coach Emery is. And we would predominantly see our man Danjuma playing off of either side. He could play on either flank or down the middle as a striker. He's very much though a forward who wants to drift into these central areas, occupying a channel and looking to stretch defences in that manner. Now the width in this Villareal team predominantly came from the fullbacks who look to stretch the back line as much as possible, allowing the forwards to come into more central positions. And we often see, like I said earlier, Danjuma occupying central left positions in the attack, looking to stretch in behind the back line, as Estupinan, who was the left back on his side, would stretch the defence really effectively. Now off the ball, Villareal system was sort of a mid-block, nice and compact, looking to prevent there being too much space for teams to play through them, and it usually looked like a 4-4-2 off the ball, with Danjuma going in alongside a forward into that first line of engagement of that 4-4-2, often occupying the space between the centre backs and the number 6s, which, when obviously the attacking team has got the ball, prevents them from playing through these central areas, forces them into the wide areas, forces the number 6 to sort of have to move around quite a lot to receive the ball. And whilst he wasn't the most active presser in the world, he was very good at sort of occupying that sort of space between the lines, preventing the 6s from receiving the ball from deep. And his positioning then meant that when Villareal did win the ball back, he was very good at getting into these positions, being the furthest man forward, looking to stretch defences as they pushed further and further forward, and looking to get in behind to create goal-scoring opportunities. Whilst not an out-and-out striker, he's someone who can play in a forward position and often found himself playing in front twos, definitely off the ball especially. I think that could be a really good fit for this Forest system. And so yeah, I think that would make him a really good fit for this Nottingham Forest system in the sense of his ability to defend in a front two. Quite often when Forest drop into their nice and deep shape, we have that front two of Taiwo and Brennan who are looking to stretch teams on the counter-attack using the pace that they have and their ability to play off the shoulder of the last man. I think Danjuma could do a really good job of that. His ability to occupy the left half space would allow him to sort of occupy Taiwo Awoniyi's position, especially with the injuries that Nigerian has received in recent weeks, meaning he's probably going to miss 1 or 2 months of action, especially during a very crunch period of the season. Having someone who can slot in, who's got a really good goal-scoring record, and who, on paper at least, I think he could suit this system. I think people with maybe a bit more knowledge might say different, I don't know. But personally for me, I think he would fit this system pretty well. I would maybe be a bit more of an attractive prospect compared to some of the players that we have been linked with in recent weeks. So in terms of grade for Arnaut Danjuma, I'm going to go for a B grade. I think there are better options on the market, but I think there are worse options on the market, and I think he ticks a lot of boxes for what we need. He's quick and he's got really good movement, exactly the kind of profile of forward we've been looking at since Steve Cooper joined the club and to fit in to his system. He's got a very consistent goal scoring record. He had a really good season last year, and despite it being a bit more of a down season this year, still has 6 goals in all competitions and would cover a multitude of attacking positions. What I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of is he hasn't got the best injury record. Last season, he missed about a third of the season due to injuries. He also missed quite a lot of time at Bournemouth due to injuries. And of course, there's quite a lot of competition from other sides, and it might mean us having to make a deal that doesn't necessarily suit us at this stage of the season. For example, obligations to buy, especially if he doesn't end up playing quite well, paying more of his wages than maybe we can afford. And so I think all in all, that entails a package of a player who ranks around a B grade for this Forest system. Of course though, let me know your thoughts on Arnaut Danjuma in the comments section down below, and watch down there, don't forget to drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single scout report or the match previews returning to you at the weekend. With that being said, thank you very much for watching. I will catch you later.